In this crazy life we live, we all need someone to hold, a friend to light the way.
All right, welcome back to the Bacc Porch Podcast. We have a very special guest for you guys today. This is the first time we have a Japanese native on the show. With that being said, I'm going to let her introduce herself and kind of tell you. First question, I guess, would be, how is it being born and raised in Japan? A lot of our viewers are American and they don't know, so this is going to be their first introduction to hear someone like you speak.
Okay. Hi, my name is Aika Nakajima. I am 28 years old, and I'm a single mom and a dancer. And my experience being born and raised in Japan is because I've never been overseas in my life, so I don't know how it is. But being Japanese, like, there's a lot of things that I could be like very grateful and thankful about, and at the same time, I think it's the same in like America and stuff too. Like, there's pros and cons, but for me, like, what I like about Japan is that it's really safe. It is very safe, and like, everybody seems friendly, and there's a lot of people who are like, especially the countryside, like, the people will be very, very sweet, very kind, and accepting. And I love that about Japan. Like, they have super good manners, and it's very clean. Like, the streets are very clean. So that's what I like about Japan. The things that I don't like about Japan would be, especially the city side, where I originally grew up, was because, like, the Japanese culture, everybody is pretty much closed off.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you would feel like a big wall, and it's very hard to like communicate like on a deep level. It'll be okay if you're just on a surface level. It'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
But like, trying to get to know somebody like well would be a struggle, because a lot of people would be fake too. So they would say like, oh my god, you're so pretty, or I really like you, and then but they don't. That's a lie, basically. And then they'd be talking shit behind your back, or So like, those kind of things do happen too. So sometimes I had like a hard time getting to know somebody and trusting somebody, like have an authentic conversation, I guess. But yeah, that's probably the only part that I don't like about Japanese people.
Okay, it's an interesting response. So, like I said, a lot of our viewers are from America,
Mm-hmm.
the States. And you said something that was kind of interesting. You said the countryside and the city side.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, people in America kind of wouldn't know what that means. Could you kind of tell them what the difference is between the two?
Countryside and city side. So the city side would be like, well, like New York. Like, a lot of buildings, like no mountains.
Like Tokyo.
Yeah, like Tokyo City. Like, I bet y'all have like an image of how Tokyo is, but that would be the city side. And the countryside would be like more mountain, more nature,
And depending on if you're from the countryside or city side,
Yeah.
your personality would be different, or?
Yeah, I mean, well, there are some people who do act the same, but the vibe is totally different. Like, even the vibe is totally different. And how they welcome you is totally different too. Like, Tokyo City, I've never really been there, so I don't really know, because I'm not from Tokyo. But a lot of people say, like, Tokyo people are rude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of friendly people too, but like, I think they're more like, I care about myself. So I think, because the city side is very, very busy, and like Japanese culture, like, is super strict, so you gotta be on time. Like, you have a lot of shit to do, even at work. Like, you have to get it done by time, or everybody's pretty stressed, I'm pretty sure, have like too much to do. So on the other hand, I'm pretty sure the countryside is more chill. Everybody does what they want to do, especially Okinawa. Like, I see people take days off, like, when they want to. Like, in mainland, that would not happen. Like, everybody's working most of the time, so yeah, I guess that's the difference. It's a blunt difference.
So, mainland, Okinawa, city side, countryside, what would you classify Okinawa as? Because we're in Okinawa right now. For the viewers who don't know, Okinawa is kind of like the Hawaii of Japan.
Yeah.
We have the mainland, which is where Tokyo is, Kyoto, all the major cities. And then Okinawa is this small island that's kind of put to the side.
Yeah.
Would you classify Okinawa as more of like a countryside portion or more of like a city type vibe?
Well, Okinawa is very special. Like, I don't consider Okinawa as Japan, honestly. Yeah, it is countryside. At the same time, it's an island. So, like, yeah, Okinawa does not feel like Japan. It really doesn't. Especially because there's a lot of foreign people on this island. So
A lot, yeah.
A lot, yeah. So, like, depending on where you are, like, you wouldn't see no Japanese people, in some areas. That does not feel like it's Japan.
Is that why you say you don't consider? Because you're the first person I ever heard say that they don't consider Okinawa as Japan. So is that why? Because it's with so many foreigners?
Yeah, but, like, a lot of Okinawan people say that too. Or, like, yeah, a lot of people say that, like, they'd be like, oh, do you know the difference right now between Japanese and Okinawans? Like, they don't even call Okinawa people Japanese. They would call them Okinawans. So it's pretty different. And, like, now I can tell, like, mainland people and Okinawa people, they look hella different. Okinawa
Seriously?
Japanese, yeah, they look hella different.
Gotta pay more attention.
Yes, you do. Now I know the difference. Like, I could tell. It's like, that they are probably from mainland, like how they dress, how their makeup, and how they look. Especially, I'm from mainland, so super easy for me to spot somebody from mainland. Okinawa girls, they don't really look Japanese to me. They all look like halfies, I guess.
Okay. So you referenced, like, where you from a couple of times. Where are you from?
I'm from Nagoya, Aichi.
Is that close to Tokyo?
It's in between Tokyo and Osaka. So there's 3 big cities in Japan, and it's Tokyo and Osaka, which I think everybody knows. The third one that a lot of people don't know is Nagoya, Aichi. That's where I'm from. But yeah, they say it's like the third, like, one of the biggest places in Japan, but, like, honestly, I don't really think that it is that big, and it doesn't really have so much to do. So I think that's why a lot of people don't really know about Nagoya. But yeah, but it is fun, like, if you go, like, for vacation, just to party, like, it is a little different vibe. It has its good part too, and the food is amazing.
And is that more of the city or the country, or is it like that perfect balance in between?
It's city in the middle. The rest will be, like, it's not really country either, because I love hiking, and, like, that's what I used to do on my days off, but I had to drive like 2-3 hours to get to the mountain. So, that's like the city by my city. So I don't really consider it as country either. Yeah, it's no mountains. It's more like, I don't know, rice field, like those.
Okay.
Like they would have those on the countryside of Nagoya, but like not mountains.
Okay. Yeah. So, me myself, I'm from Florida, and there is no mountains anywhere in Florida at all. My first time seeing a mountain was when I was 23 years old, and I was in North Carolina.
Damn.
And that really wasn't like a huge or crazy type mountain. It was just like, whoa, it's my first time seeing a mountain. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
But when I actually came to Japan when I was 25, and I seen like all of these mountains just everywhere, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So you was able to see that your entire life growing up?
The mountains?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, my parents used to take me to like every summer, winter, like spring, or every time it changed, like we would go, like, for example, snowboarding or like to the beach, or we would go to trips. So from when I was a little girl, like we always visited like the nature, and I was always in love with nature. That's crazy though. You didn't see a mountain till 23, like, oh my god.
It's crazy. Like even snow, like how you said snowboarding. My first time seeing snow was when I was, I think, 27 years old.
Damn.
I never saw, because I'm from Florida. It don't snow in Florida.
Right.
There's no mountains. There's no long grassy plains, no big fields. Everything is either the city or the beach. That's all you got.
That's crazy.
If it ain't the city, it's the beach. And if it is some kind of country, it's filled with like cows and horses.
Wow.
So.
That's crazy. I guess I'm blessed then, huh? I got it all in one place.
You definitely blessed. And it's crazy because you don't meet too many girls nowadays that say that they like nature. Like most girls, if you talk about nature, they just look at you like, what? Let's go to the mall. You know what I mean? Let's go to the beach, or let's go shopping or something like that. So to hear somebody say that they like nature, that's pretty refreshing.
Thank you.
Another thing I wanted to touch on was like, the whole time you was telling your background, the difference between all these different places, your English is really good.
Thank you.
Like, extremely good. I would probably say perfect.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
For someone who has never been, overseas or to the States, how did your English get so good?
Well, so it'll go back to my childhood, but I was raised in a cult, a Christian cult. So, and this was in Japan. I'm pretty sure like the big boss was American though. I think it was in America. I know a lot of people who, like in America, who has been in the cult, and like a lot of people that moved to America. So I'm pretty sure that cult was kind of all over the world at one point now. But yeah, so I used to always live with like 2 other families or something. So the first, like when I was born, I was living with like this German family and American Italian family. And so how it works is I don't go to school.
Let's cut, if you don't mind, let's cut and let's go to that one again.
Wait, can I smoke?
Yeah.
Okay, so I definitely was raised different, and English was my first language because I grew up in a cult, a Christian cult. And so that cult was, I think it was like the big boss was he was somewhere overseas, but like I'm pretty sure that they were the same group the people were in like America and like different countries. So I know that it was like worldwide. I mean, it existed all over around the world.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I used to live with, like, it wasn't only just my family, but like I used to live with at least like one or two other families all together. And the first family I lived with was German family and American Italian family. And so basically we don't go to school, we were homeschooled. And so my teachers would be like the people who are in the cult. So it would either be like my brothers and sisters or like my friends' brothers and sisters or like their parents, you know. So we would start out our day reading the Bible from like 7 a.m. or something. We would read the Bible and then have breakfast, and then I studied language arts and stuff. Like I didn't study in Japanese at that time. So yeah, it was mostly like the people that I was living with couldn't really speak Japanese either. It was like very broken Japanese. So like how we would communicate would be in English.
Okay.
Yeah. So until I was 9 years old, like I was in that cult the whole time. So, you know, that's why my first language was always English, and probably I learned all the pronunciation and stuff from there.
So from like 2 or 3 until 9, or was it literally from like a baby?
It was literally from a baby. Baby me.
Okay. Keep going. It's interesting.
So yeah, but what we did was basically how do you call it? I don't know what you say, how you call it in English, but like we would do like volunteer activities. So we would go do like old folks' homes or like orphanage.
In Japan, right?
Yes, in Japan. And we'll do like skits of like Jesus, how he was born and stuff.
I don't mean to laugh. It's not funny. It's just crazy because we usually don't hear about stuff like that outside of America. So being in Japan, that's different. So that's crazy. All right.
I know.
Let me hear it.
Yeah, so that was my normal, but so yeah, we would sing and dance and stuff too, like very cute dance, like not the kind of dance that I do right now. Very cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, we would do that. And then like basically like teach kind of about the Bible and stuff. I don't really remember because I was very small. I remember doing that, or like during spring when like, so over here in Japan we have this season called like sakura season. And sakura is like a type of tree that only blossoms in like spring.
It's the cherry blossom.
Yeah, the cherry blossom. Only for like a month or not even that long. But so when that happens, like Japanese people do picnics kind of at night, like to enjoy the view and to get drunk. Eat and get drunk. So we used to go and like basically sing. Like my dad or somebody would have a guitar, and then like 10 other of us would be with him, and we would sing. He would like ask if they would like to hear us sing basically, and then sing, and then in the end we would give them like this paper of like what we do, explains what we do and like how our group works, and then we ask for a donation. I remember doing that, or like even like randomly like on like the weekends we usually went to like the city side and then give out the same paper and then ask for a donation. But yeah, I remember my parents used to get in trouble though, cause like I was small, I was still like what 7 or 8, and then like these ladies would get mad and be like, "Why are you making these kids do this?"
Japanese ladies?
Yeah, Japanese
What?
ladies. That was funny. But like for me, that was my normal, and you know I wanted to do it too, cause I didn't want to be bored at home either.
Mm.
So yeah, and then my parents were like, "But they want to do it too," you know. It was funny. But yeah, there's a lot of shit that I probably don't really understand that was going on. But you know, I don't really want to know at the same time right now, you know. Like right then, that was all I knew, and like now, if I think about it, it's pretty funny. So, you know, good experience.
So how long did you stay into that? You said like 9 years old?
Yes, 9 years old.
Mm. So from 9, was it just English that you knew, or you still knew Japanese as well?
I did a little bit. So, like, when you say hello, you say konnichiwa, right? Konnichiwa, that's how you say it. But, so my Japanese was really broken. So I think I sounded like, you know, a happy or something. I would say like, konnichiwa. Now I think it's very cute, but you know, I used to get bullied because like they thought I wasn't Japanese basically. They'd be like, go back to your country. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, but it's here. You know?
I was gonna ask you that too. I'm like, how was it like transitioning? Because at some point you went to Japanese schools.
Yeah.
So how was it transitioning from speaking majority English to jumping into boom, I'm in a Japanese school now with native Japanese speakers?
To be honest, it was very hard. Like I was like, when I was a little girl, I was a loner. I didn't like to be in the groupies, and like, you know, do the girly shit. I wasn't really the girly girl either. So me having that kind of personality on top of that, I cannot speak Japanese so well, was not a good combination. And yeah, so like in the beginning I would always get like, because I moved around a lot too, so in the beginning they would be like, oh my god, you can speak English, and like, you know, everybody would come up to me and I'd be like the highlight for like the month, and then the girls would start getting jealous, and then after a month I would always get bullied. Like that was, you know, it constantly happened every time I moved, which was like 4 times or something. So, but I was, you know, from 9 years old to like 14 is like probably when we start having our own brains and start thinking by ourselves, and you know, try to figure things out. Very confusing time for kids, I think. So yeah, it was very hard for me to process all my feelings, and in the end I was just like, fuck it, you know, I'm not going, and I stopped going to school. Like
at 14?
No, from like 13, I guess. Yeah, from like 13 years old, or like, no, even before that, even like 12 too, because like, yeah, it was too much for me when it came to a point where like they would put like bugs inside my food, or
what?
Yeah, like literally. I found a cockroach in my desk once, and like they would like hide my shoe, like literally. So like I would only have one shoe, like the school shoe now. So,
the whole day?
Huh?
The whole day?
Yeah, so like I just didn't wear my shoe when that happened. But, you know, it's a girly type of bullying basically. And like the boys they would just call me stupid names. Yeah, I'd be like, oh, they're just stupid, you know. But yeah, the girls, that was pretty bad for me. Like, I'm sure people have been through worse, but like at that time that was pretty hard for me. And yeah, but like at the same time, like my parents So my parents joined the cult when they were 16. So they only knew that for like the longest time until I was 9. So they were like, what, in their 40s or something?
Mm.
You know. So like they didn't even work normally or nothing, and then suddenly, boom, they have to work. So they were both constantly working, probably very stressed. And, you know, me not going to school probably stressed the fuck out of them too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they were the one. They were always like pushing me, like, no, you're not getting bullied, or you know, it's not that much of a deal.
Mm.
And they always pushed me, and I did go until, you know, I was like, it's too much, and then I stopped going. But yeah, so I stopped, and then probably the angry side of my, you know, the teenage me came out, and then I just left home when I was 14.
You left at 14?
Yes, I left at 14. But I thought that was normal because all my siblings left when they were 14. But to, like, not, like, out, not really like me. They were living in, like, a different home. Like, a different, what you call it? So, you know, the cult has a lot of homes all over Japan, too.
So they still had like
Yeah.
a family system supporting them.
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah, they were removed to a different place, basically. I don't know how the system works, but, like, all of them left when they were, like, 14-ish. So, you know, I think it was like that, I guess. But, yeah, they left, so I thought that was normal. I'm like, oh, I can do it, too. My stupid ass thought I can be okay being 14 and leaving home, you know.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm pretty sure, as different as it is, generally there are some people, you know, in the United States or in America who can kind of relate to some of the stuff that you went through.
Yeah.
So the question I have for you is, looking back at it, is there anything you would change as far as, you know, your childhood from how you grew up? Or do you think that made you stronger and made you who you are today?
Something that I would change. I don't necessarily have any regrets. Like, I always try to choose what I think that's, like, the right choice. Even if I was wrong at that point. You know, there's a lot of things that I could be like, oh my god, that was so stupid of me. But at that time, I thought it was the right choice, right? You know, so I always try to do 100%. So for me, like, if I had to go through life again, like, I wouldn't mind going through the same thing. Like, that is what built me to who I am right now. And a lot of people like me growing up, like, even in my teenagers when I started working, because I started working when I was 15. But yeah, a lot of people were like, oh, you got guts, you know. And that was probably because of my childhood and how I was raised too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it got something to do with that. So, like, that fire in me, I'm sure that all came from, like, the bully and stuff too, because I hate losing too. Like, just watch me. Yeah. I'm gonna get you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that helped me a lot, actually. Like, it was a lot of hate that I had to deal with and let go for the longest time. But that actually helped me so much. So I'm actually very grateful for that.
Okay, that's what's up. See, with America, right, we got bullies too. But usually, when it comes to the bully in America, it boils down to either we're going to fight or you're going to leave me alone. Like, 95% of the time, that's what it boils down to, whether it's girl or boy, kid, even adults. Like, all right, either we're going to fight or you're going to leave me the fuck alone. In Japan, it seems like it's more like of a continuous thing. It seems like once you start getting bullied, it seems like you just keep getting bullied until you get away from those people.
Yeah, that is true. depends. Like, so like if you're in a groupie, I think it's kind of different. Like, I think they bully each other like one by one. Yeah.
In a group?
Yeah. Like let's just say there's like 4 girls in the group.
Mm.
So like yeah, and then something happens. Of course, something happens. It's girls. So something happens, and then they bully one girl with all 3 of them. You know. And then they get bored, and then they find another mistake on a different girl, and then 3 of them start bullying, you know? And like, you know, I've seen that a lot too.
So majority singles out that one girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, you know, sometimes they just get bored and move on, you know? And sometimes though, yeah, I wasn't the type who would fight back either, so that was probably my bad too. But like, you know, I would just not say anything. Like, oh, okay. Yeah. I was that type of girl. So, I'm pretty sure that made me an easy target too, I guess. Yeah. I don't know though, about like, yeah, it is more mind games though. It's not a fight, not really. Like, that happens when you're like teenager, like 13, 14, then going through your, you know, your fiery state.